Yesterday's video disasters, GoPro disaster, whatever it is. The GoPro is crappity. Cam link seems a little bit crappity. I don't know what's what, but hopefully we're gonna work on something that actually works today. I just got a top-down view from another GoPro, but it's in webcam mode. Won't be the prettiest thing, but I think it'll work. So this is about tremolo stabilizer things. Let's see what they got on Amazon. So I think last week or so I showed installing one of these. It's like a single, like the ESP arming adjuster, Ibanez Backstop. I also a couple weeks ago put in one of these. This Alnikov, I think, was the name of it. A dual. It's like pure brass unit, really kind of cool. But there's also this version right here, and this looks like the ESP one or the old Ibanez one or whatever. Actually, I think the Ibanez one was plastic, right? There's like some plastic parts in it, and we just saw that video with Steve I and his, and this version has, it's almost like a ball bearing here in the end. I've got the single version in this guitar right now. I'm going to change it out to the dual version. The single version seems to be doing a very good job, but I'm extra paranoid. I used to try those Geldo black boxes, and they didn't quite do what I wanted. I'm going to give this one a try, and I'm still not got it in my brain exactly right about where to put certain parts of these, but I'm going to put this one in today, and let's take a look. So here's, boy, see this needs some better diffuse light, huh? So this is, I'll pop this open in a second. Let me get the victim. And so trying out my new Guitar Tech workbench kind of thingy. Turn on some softer light. You know, I wonder how well would this light go? Yeah, that doesn't seem to be enough, does it? Let's get the rest of this light on. It's a little grainy. I'm trying. The HDMI with the GoPro out was way better. I'm trying to get my hands on some kind of camcorder or something. I'm going to do better, but I could really use some video help, actually. If anybody knows some stuff, please let me know. So, here comes the victim here. Gonna be my very, ooh, see that? Did you, yeah, look at all that. What is that pixelization, all that crap going on? It doesn't happen with HDMI. It's only on this USB webcam mode. This is my scalloped ESP with the oil slick Floyd Rose Pro, which is the most important part of any guitars, to have as much oil slick on there as you can possibly get. And then after that, make sure it's scalloped. And so, and this new cradle out. Let's see how this does. See if it gouges out my strings or whatever. Guess that's kind of cool. That's much more comfortable to work on than I'm used to. Look, I still got the plastic on here. I actually took a router to this guitar when it was brand new, the first day I had it, in order to get this tremolo, and it came with the Floyd Rose original. Okay, so let me, I bought a spring tool, but I can't really get it to work. I'm going to just brush my fingers. Need kind of a hardcore screwdriver here, don't I? Yeah, let me I'm really working up my toolkit. Just want to pop the spring cavity open. And really I should be doing this with an electric screwdriver, but don't have one. I got drills and stuff, but I think I'd like a slightly less hardcore one. And I can't really zoom with this thing. I don't know what I'm doing with it, so you're just gonna bear with me. I'll hold things up if I can, so that you can see them better. What is this exactly resting on? Is it resting on my bridge? Yes, it is. I don't like that. That's going to make this difficult. So let me. Hopefully, I don't need any more tools from in here. But this will make a perfectly good spacer. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Oh, see, I still need to get some like paint can lids and stuff. I'm trying to get more organized. I mean, you guys who know me know that's like the opposite of who I am. So I'm trying to be better. Okay, so here, I don't know how well you're gonna see this. This is the old one. This is a single, and it is working very well. Let's take a look at this. So when you're diving, it does nothing. Doesn't hurt you at all. You probably run a little bit more spring tension than you're used to in order to make it hit well. So the point is when this thing, when you let go of this and it comes bouncing back, it's going to slam into this little rod right here. And that would be a dive only if that was all there was to it. But there's a spring here, and once you overcome that spring pressure, you can pull up. Now, if you listen to Steve Vai, he's doing crazy whammy bar tricks. So I was surprised to see this thing in his guitar. But I've been trying it and actually having a pretty good time of it. So, you know, back in the day, I used trem setters and stuff. But for the last, like, 10 years, pretty much, I've just had a locked up tremolo, or a dive only, sorry. And over last year, I actually experimented with having a fully floating Floyd, and I liked it. I liked the there was some freedom it gave me that I liked, and I might just get put another guitar fully floating or whatever. Actually, I have one of them here, but yeah, I don't quite. I'm just too paranoid for this, I think, is really what it is. So I'm going to take this guy out, and it's very small screws on this thing, so I'm probably going to a little bit worried. They're tiny. And I don't want to lose this. I have a feeling that this is probably perfect, this single that I have here. But I want to give the dual a try. I probably, you know, I tried setting the dual on my other guitar, that big brass one, a little bit as loose as it would go. And I think that's actually how I have it set. I play eights, you know, so I'm not playing the stiffest strings anyways. And, you know, you still feel it hit. I tried a couple things like some rubber O-rings and stuff to try and take the shock out of it, but no real luck. I'm gonna do it this. Put these back in. And I'm gonna tape over it so I don't lose these screws. But I don't have any duct tape right now. So really, I'll just hot glue them in there like I do with everything else. Well, and these screws are so small. I don't really, kind of scared to drill holes for them. But the other thing is, you don't want to go into. This could be your pickup cavity, for all I know. Let's see. Let's take a look at where these are going to go. So the screws, like up here, which yeah, it's right below your bridge pickup. So turn on the AC. It's gonna get a little bit noisier. Oh, sorry about that. With my head. Yeah, a little bit noisier. So. Where is, I just had a new one. So yeah, I'm still trying to work out how to be an organized person. So cut me some slack here. I'm working on it. And I just had, here it is. Okay. Get this one apart. Comes with a pick that I don't want. Comes with an Allen wrench, which, let's see, I didn't need for the other one because it was really easy to get around it. But this one is going to be a little bit trickier, I think. Let's take a look. One of the cool things about this one compared to the one I had installed last time, let me pull that one back up. This guy. It's not bad, but it's a little tricky to get your screwdriver in here. This guy should be a lot easier. Okay, wow. Yeah, light's not doing anybody any favors there. Oops. That doesn't help. Okay. I don't know if it's better just no lights. So you see that they're in the middle there. It's a little bit easier to do. There's so many different sites telling you about how to install these. So let's look at what these things do, okay, first of all. So when the tremolo hits this part, wow. Okay, I'm gonna kill that. See if there's see, I'm holding up Lord of the Rings or something. Not sure if this light helps at all, but wow. When you press on this, see that the plunger goes. That's when you're diving, and this is the spring tension that has you up against the tremolo sustain block or whatever you call it. And so one of these screws, really, its job is to tighten or loosen that spring, set the spring tension. And the other spring, the other screw, the other thumb screw, is to say how far back this guy goes. So where does the plunger start? So I'm thinking that I really want to just put it right up to the end. And I know there's a reason not to do that. But unlike the other one, this part of it doesn't slam into anything. So I'm tempted to set these guys flush. The other thing is, these are so easy to turn. All of them. I'm talking the ESP one, the Ibanez one, all of them, even the real ones, whatever. They're so easy to turn that you really think this is going to come loose on while you're using it. So if I put it in like this, there's not enough spring tension to keep it from just slamming into the end there. So am I limiting myself by putting it on like that? Because the minimum is going to have to at least spring it, but okay, let me think about this. So the very minimum position this thing could be, I mean, if I turn this side, turn this guy, so I can have it all the way out there and have it stiff, but the furthest I can be out and even touch the spring like this is going to make this hard to set. So I'm gonna make this with no slack here. You'll notice that in all their pictures, they're showing it with this kind of opened up. I'm really worried that how easy it is to spin this thing, that it's just going to move around and you're not going to really keep your settings. So I keep thinking I'm going to put Loctite or something on here. Not sure. But I'm going to just barely engage the spring. So either way, I'm making this spring short. So let me do this the other way. So I'm going to back this out until it's flush with the front here. Let's see if they give us instructions. How about that? Definitely not on the packaging, but Music Lily. Okay. Not really give us any instructions. Package includes. Well, let's just type this in. You had no idea how happy I am that nowadays with Amazon you can just go buy all this stuff, whereas before, forget it. You know, there's some of them like you couldn't even bring them into the country and stuff. I mean, just crazy. So here's the Alnikov. This is the other one that I had. Let's see what they say here. So this is how I did this one. This is pretty. Oh, that's cool. I wonder. So I wonder if they have one for the Music Lily. Um, let's include instructions. There's no instructions. Let's see if maybe at their website they have. Oh, goody. Page not found at their website. Let's see. Let's go to. Oh, I guess they're changing everything now. So, yeah. Okay, let's see the old one. Maybe it's still there. Okay. Uh, yep, here we go. Wow, $28 back then on that one. Compared to what you had to pay to try and bring an Ibanez one into the country back in the day. That's crazy. All right, so no instructions. Yay. Okay. But this one. So the real place to go for this stuff anyway is last word in tremolo stabilization, whatever it's Joe Animaker guy. Emanicker. So here's the backstop. So see, it's a bunch of plastic stuff. Kind of strange, but they put the screws in the middle where it'd be easy. I like that. How to install? Where's the... Yeah, see, I don't like any of this. I'm sorry. All right, I'm just gonna pop this sucker in here. If I'm wrong, let's see. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna take it all the way out to the end so it's flush. Okay, get it flush. So really, you don't need that much pull. It's way overkill what I usually do. So I'm gonna tighten this spring until it actually does something. And then, getting these springs a little, the dual thing fine-tuned is a little bit of a problem, but we'll see how that actually plays out in the real world. There's a little bit of play here, which could make some trouble. Some old eyeballs, which are definitely making trouble. Now, why do these look so different? One has a lot more. Alright, something is bizarre here. Let me try this again. I'm going to screw this all the way in again, then. Sorry. These things different lengths. Don't tell me they've messed up big time. I don't think they did. So if I want to have enough, but this is actually a lot to pull back on. It's kind of... You think this is a very small amount when you're pulling your bridge up, but if you really look at how far that is, it's pretty crazy. Let me so if I were to pitch up, it's not very far before that thing's about to pop some strings. So it's really only tiny. So this would be fine. I don't want to get stuck and limit myself. It really looks strange when we got these. I wonder if the springs are different sizes. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, nothing surprises me when it comes to this stuff now. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna put this flush again. Let's see if I can't get it a little bit closer this time. Trouble is with it this far. So see, there's no spring tension. The maximum spring tension I'll be able to bring to bear is going to be a lot less, and that could be a problem. But let's see. You know, and nobody's going to die. I can always move this hole. Move the thing and re-drill a couple holes. Okay, here's my problem. This is definitely weird. One of these springs is like way more tension than the other, as far as I can tell. Whoa, wait a second. Okay, well, here is a huge problem, I think. Yes, this shouldn't come off. Holy crap. Okay, that's the problem. Let's see. Take this apart real quick. Show you. Whoa, this one came off too. What? Okay. In the other ones that I have, these don't come off. And I really don't want them moving. Like, that's not good. Okay. So before we even start on this, we're going to make a little modification to this product. So how can I do this? I should go get some Loctite red. Never mind even the blue. Yeah, this is not happy. Like, that's cool that you can unscrew it. It really gives you some options, but there's so many moving parts at that point that this is just not cool. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just take well, I don't really want to take pliers to it because that might get it stuck when I go to when it moves through the little tunnel there. So I can take an Allen wrench on one side and lock this sucker in. But I really don't want to clamp down on it because if I scratch it, it could make some trouble. So I'm gonna crank the Allen wrench in, and just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna go grab some Loctite real quick. Oh, see, I already tightened it so much I can't get it off. So with Loctite, you can actually spin this sucker out and use it to get a lot more adjustment than you could otherwise. But all the other ones I've seen on these, you can't get this part off. So let me pull this back up. So like this guy, the ball end is part of this shaft right here, so it doesn't come off of it. I mean, that's actually kind of nice that it can, but I don't think I want to for my use. So let me go get my Loctite. I'll be right back. If I can find my car keys, which I can't. Car keys. Not in my pocket. Starting to get hungry again. My phone. I hear it. I hear my keys. Where are they? Yeah, who cares? Okay, let me go grab my Loctite. Sorry. I think ideally this end maybe put on with some JB Weld or red Loctite or something. But this whole thing could use Loctite. I really would feel a lot more confident if it just couldn't spin out accidentally. I'm watching these guitars change a little bit because of that, and I think we should fix that. So I'm just gonna Loctite this whole damn thing. It's not gonna be ideal, but let's just do what we can. So hopefully there's still Loctite in this thing. I don't know if it's a new one. Just got a new bottle, but I'm not sure if this is it. Stuff is like crazy money too. But what isn't right now, I guess, right? Um, I'm gonna Loctite this whole thing, and I don't know that it's really gonna work well, but I think it's gonna add just a little bit of vibration proof for us. And I wish I had some rubber grips right now, then I could just tighten this down just the tiniest bit more. Oh, okay, so I just did something very wrong. Okay, gotta pay more attention. All right, that's the side. I was gonna hold it by the Allen wrench side, so that's yeah. Having trouble getting the Loctite out of here. I don't know if this is a new bottle or not. And there's so little in it anyway. Such a rip, man. It's not going to be ideally perfectly coated, but we'll get it as close as we can. Now, let's get this back a bit too. So if I had something strong, what did I do? I had some rubber, like rubber tweezers. I could probably use the backside of a good set of pliers. Let me give that a try. I just do with all my pliers. See, I'm trying to get more organized, but like I say, old habits just had piles of really, oh, here it is right here. Yeah, I just bought a box to organize everything and I put it in there, so of course I can't find it. All right. So one trick, if you have to grab stuff that you don't want to mar, find pliers. And of course, you could put rubber teeth on these things. What I usually do is I just use the edge of it. I can get a pretty good grip. And, not scratch anything. Of course, in this case, I put the metal part of this thing on there, which is absolutely horrible idea. Try something else. Be able to do with some scissors. Anyhow, so now this is Loctited. This is in there pretty good. I don't think I'm going to be spinning this out by hand accidentally. So put this back in. Note how this goes. Now, it's probably a good idea to Loctite the inside of the female side of the threads, but not sure that I'm going to be able to get it in there that well. Let me see if it clears it out when I put it on. If it does, I'll reapply. You can see it's starting to pool up. So this is typical with Loctite. So when this pulls up, one of the things you can do is turn it around so that you can be sure get a good chunk on the female end of the threads. So you can already feel just the liquid in here is giving us some resistance, which is good. Like I say, that I'm worried the other ones are just spinning themselves out. I don't know how good this stuff is for your skin. And I can always put more on here. I'll feel a whole lot better with this Loctite on here. It's not perfect. So Bozo move number 1. Not thinking about how this goes together. Try this again. It's through. Now put the screw in there. And I'm really clearing this Loctite out at this point, so I have to reapply. And the part that I really care about is going to be wherever it starts to bite on the spring. So really going to get it over here. I have to go run over to Napa and get some more Loctite. This is not really coming out. Or is this still have some in it? No, it still seems to too. That's the part that matters, is way up here. Wherever that spring starts to really work. And Bozo move number 2. And be able to get the spring in here. Yep. Oh, it does go through. Oops. Wow. Okay. That's Bozo move number 3. So we want to get it on the end here. Probably really do want to get it on the female side of this one. And I want to get it on the threads. Whatever this is, whatever I end up with is going to be way better than without it, I think. Like, there could be a reason that they don't stick Loctite on here, but Not really seeing it. Okay, that's pretty much flush. So we've got a tremendous amount of spring pressure here already. So I'm going to back this out. I say we do definitely want some preload here, though. You know, it's funny. Once I screwed this thing all the way in, this is making a whole lot more sense. Okay, so see now there's only a tiny little gap there, so I feel a lot better about this. So good thing. Do I really need to take this apart to Loctite it? I don't think so. Some Loctite on these threads. Jeez, man, I swear I just bought a new one. Is this the new one? So chintzy with this stuff. So you don't want to put it on with the. That's probably the best way to do it anyway. Take my Allen wrench, just goop it on there. You know, with it off, I can get it more uniform around it. But if I do just get the screw it all the way in there, it'll get in there from the threads. You saw how it pulls up anyway, so that should be fine. Just got to get it in here. And then remind me to go to Napa and get some more Loctite. Pretty confident in that. So we're going to do the same thing and take the Allen wrench off first. And I want to hold it with something firm, but really, I don't see myself putting that much pressure on it, but it's going to make it come out of something like that. So it's just get this thread this way out so make sure we got some uniform coverage here. The only thing I could see that would loosen this ball back up is if the Loctite grabs so hard on the other parts that I can't spin them. But I don't think that's going to happen. Never say never, but this guy out. Okay, I want to, while we're doing this, I want to give some advice to some artists out there, especially up and comers. Maybe you're trying to get things done, and you call people who are working in the industry. You know, you network, and that's the smartest thing you can do. You got to talk to other people and stuff. But if you want to get something done, like maybe you want to meet these people, you want to work with some certain musicians, you want to you have some kind of goal that you're trying to achieve, and it requires, you know, some resources, or at least a good word from an established artist, or you know, whatever, somebody working in the stuff that where you want to work. I gotta tell you that people get calls all the time from all manners of weirdos and pie in the sky stuff. But this music industry, it's made out of dreams, all right? It's made out of crazy ideas. It's made out of people taking on stuff they got no business taking on, and just being crazy ambitious and doing neat things. And so there's nothing wrong with trying to get a hold of people. And what I'm trying to say, when you're trying to get other musicians or other people to work with you and do things, it's really important to kind of have a plan. So you're not just calling people up willy-nilly and just going, hey, I want to make $1 million and hang out with you. Like, well, how's that going to work? You really got to have a plan. And see, here we go again. This thing seems a little bit. If you're, I mean, lots of people are open to let's do whatever, throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks or whatever. But generally, people want to know that you got a plan, that you have an idea of how to get where you're trying to go. And wow, this is really tightening up quickly. Maybe this Loctite was a bad idea. Maybe not though. I really would rather it stayed put. I can always overcome it. And once Loctite dries, it just becomes kind of a just a little bit thicker, kind of thread sealer kind of deal. And it may be that this goes exactly where I want it to go in the first place anyway. Or maybe I got to hurry up and install this. But, okay, so anyway, when you call people up, you want to get involved with them and stuff, have a plan. Because there's a bunch of wishy-washies that call up and want to get you involved with their stuff and want you to get in. And really all they're just doing is asking you for your money. And I don't got any money, so never mind that. But, you get in these long conversations with people, and they got no plan whatsoever. And they're trying to, they want you to contact people for them, or they want you to put some work into stuff. And you're like, well, what are you trying to do? Wow. Okay. This Loctite really locked this up. Okay, so I might end up with some problems here. Wow. I can easily... Okay, so what am I going to say? So here... What's going on? I think I might have Loctited this sucker in place. No way. No way. Like, I can't even push this. Did I glue this thing in place? Or is that spring just that stiff? There's no way that spring's that stiff. So, yeah, this Loctite may have been a dumb idea. Let me, yeah, that might be why they didn't do it. Put some pliers on here and see if I can't turn it. And honestly, if this does work, then I'm not going to worry about this thing moving around. Now, this still seems like these are different. Let me just spin this real quick and see if that's what happened. Did it get locked up in there? It's really interesting. I Loctited the Allen wrench hole. Wow. Usually Loctite doesn't work this good, but I guess, we're talking about little tiny things where normally I'm trying to Loctite up bike parts. I've actually can't even get my... Oh, man. Okay, what kills Loctite? Is it acetone or alcohol? Let's see. Can't remember. Let's see if alcohol does it. If not, I do have acetone. That's going to not be good if I can't get an Allen wrench. Wow. Yeah, I screwed up, guys. Okay, so now we know at least that the Loctite will definitely hold this sucker down. This is Loctite blue. This ain't even the strong stuff, man. Wow. All right, so I gotta get that clear somehow. Can't remember who's out there. Somebody tell me. How do you get off? How do you break blue Loctite? Is it acetone? Ooh, Loctite. Apply heat. No, I don't want to heat it. That's for the red anyway. Well, rubbing alcohol dissolve Loctite. Um, Loctite. Best ways to get rid of. Yeah, saying Loctite. Let me get a. I'm really glad that this is holding this hard though, because I'm probably gonna Loctite my other stuff once I have it set, but it probably shouldn't do it before you got it figured out. Okay, so I don't want the alcohol to wreck the Loctite that I want. Okay, need something really skinny to break that out of there. It's just amazing. You know, Loctite doesn't do all that much on your bike, right? I mean, it helps keep it from vibrating loose, but it's not like it smashes the stuff in place or anything. Like, this is just nuts. Okay, how far is this supposed to go on the way in? Okay. Man, I can't even spin that thing. Turn it. Front. That was unreal. So I've like glued it into place. Yeah, I definitely don't want Loctite interfering with the plunger action of this thing. That is for sure. That would be awful. I definitely need to get this Allen head clear. So I'm gonna have to do it from the outside. This is the only way to tighten that thing. So I've got to get that cleared out. Yeah. I just got some new tweezers and stuff. Oh, and so let's see. Let's finally give this guy a try here. So I should be able to see. I don't know if you see this. This is a magnifying thingamabobber. And I can see. Yep. Take some tweezers. Wow. Just incredible what Loctite does on weaker parts, on smaller stuff. Like, man, if it held our bikes together like this, we'd never use that red Loctite, you know? That stuff's nasty when you got to get it off of there. This is not so bad. I mean, on your bike, you know, whatever tool you have is going to overcome blue Loctite, no problem. But I really like when the type that dries up into that blue plastic like that. That's really, then you feel secure about stuff. All right, this is still not spinning all that well. It's just incredible. I was really worried that, there we go. Okay, so that's messing this up. So I definitely can't have anything interfering with the plunger action of these things. These springs feel so different too. So hopefully the alcohol fixes this. Okay, you hear that little click? That's going to be this thing not returning to where it's supposed to be because of some binding. You know, any kind of friction or binding in your tremolo system is just curtains for you, you know? So I can't have any of that. I'll tell you what, I feel a lot better having Loctite on here. It really, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hard to manipulate, but boy, is it keep this thing from feeling so easy to overwhelm. Like it just seems like, you know, in normal use, you're gonna as this thing hits, you're gonna things are gonna come loose. You know, these two screws are gonna come loose. With this Loctite, I don't think that's happening. But I still don't quite have it figured out. Let's see. I don't want to mess up these new tweezers, but better the tweezers than the tremolo. Still not. Oh, there we go. Okay. That is starting to feel solid. Okay. This spring feels a lot looser than the other one. So let's see about which way is this gonna go? Wow, I can't even spin it. Woo-hoo. Uh-oh. What does that mean? Which one just spun? Okay, this one is still a lot stiffer than this one. That could be a problem for me later on, but let's just see. All right, so I'm gonna stop messing with the Loctite for now. If I really need to throw, okay, yeah. So yeah, Skip. This is acetone good for the um taking off blue Loctite though? I guess acetone's kind of good for taking off anything, including your fingers. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Here's one problem. I'm probably gonna have to yank these springs, and that's gonna make it a little bit hard to tell where to put this thing exactly. And I really wanted to try my new spring tool, but it didn't work. It hurt. I'm just gonna try these needle nose pliers and see if they'll do what I need them to do. First, I really should block this tremolo where it is. That was dumb. I should have done this first. That's not going to be exactly right, but it's going to be close. Luckily, this thing's got a lot of range of adjustability, so if I do it too much, like you saw, we got plenty of room we can go. Okay. So put it up against there. I'd love it if it were straightish, but I don't think it's gonna be. Okay, so one thing I'm a little worried about here. Gotta make this one slightly longer, I think. Yep. You can actually see it in here. So that's gonna be the Allen wrench, and it's gonna be this screw that matters this time. So I want to go into it more. Oh, shoot. All right, it just stripped, so that Loctite may have been a stupid idea. So, yeah, that was a bad idea. Okay. I need to make this longer, just a little bit. And that's really got it. So, see about this acetone, I guess. Yeah, you know, I've been doing poorly on projects lately. I'm just screwing up left and right. Acetone. Do not want that to dump. Yeah, I'm really gonna have a hard time. I guess I should have let it dry first. Really, all I just did is glue this sucker together, which is not really what I want to do. It's not like that's going to penetrate in there all that well either. What I got to do is spin this guy. It's just stripping. Crap. Ah, shoot. Man, I don't have too many good choices on how to handle it past that. Okay, so this is I hammer this in. Yeah, that's a hammer. So I'm gonna have to find a way to lever that guy. Using some Archimedes. What's the guy's name with the he had a lever big enough he could move the world. So I don't know if that just spun it or if I just stripped. I think it's just stripping. Yeah, so I screwed up. I screwed up bad. All right. How are we gonna get out of this? I could grab the middle with the pliers, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold it tight enough to spin it. Loctite is strong. Bad move. You guys should have stopped me. Say stop, idiot. Yeah, see, that's not even holding. Oh, boy. Don't want to mess up that spring either. See if I can spin this guy out first. So I guess next time the lesson is get the thing all the way in place before you mess with the Loctite. Okay. So. Oh boy. Acetone, sorry. Now I got a heat gun. I can heat this up, or I could stick a soldering iron in this tip and break the heat, make it with heat that way. Soldering iron. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't expect it to be that strong. We know what it does on our bikes, you know. Certainly ain't this. That's good to know. And I can do this in the end. I'll get this working first, and then I'll do all this craziness. Definitely stick my soldering iron in there. That's a bummer. I just whatever. Sorry. So again, another short job is turning into a logistical nightmare. I wonder if this is just a junky Allen key or really that hard to break through this Loctite. Man, is this solder tip going to be pointy enough to even get in there? Huh. Or am I going to solder the end and then make it completely useless? Well, I wish I had a pointy tip for this iron. I may have better Allen wrenches for my bike parts that I can use to take this thing apart, but you're not saying a dab will do you. Probably should have. Probably should have started a little conservative before I went full hog with the Loctite. So I'm just gonna hold this iron up to it. I've got heat guns and things too, but I have a feeling this hopefully this soldering iron will do. What I don't want to do is get solder in there and then I can't get the Allen wrench in there. That doesn't happen. This is brass, so who knows what the inside is. Brass may heat more. Hopefully it just heats the Loctite up. What a bozo. That was we call here in Hawaii a baboo's move. Spinning. I've got to get a way to lock something on this part, but God, it's incredible. Oh, it's really on there. I really screwed that up. Let's see who will spin. This guy's spinning okay. Well, I better hope I don't have to move that thing's length, I guess, because holy crap. I could just lock it in place and just use the other piece to move it in and out. It won't do it very well. So I really should get this loose. Really need. I really screwed this up. Got some much higher quality Allen wrenches I can go grab. I'm gonna go out to my car, I'll grab better Allen wrenches, and I'm gonna leave this thing heating up. Can I do that? It's the stuff firemen's nightmares are made out of. You guys, if you see this thing jump off the desk and start burning holes everywhere, scream and I'll come running. Oh, oh. Not even able to get out there yet. Here we go. This will do it. Yeah, there we go. That should heat up. Be right back. Find my car keys. Sometimes, when you're really in a pinch, Torx wrench can go in and take a stripped Allen wrench and make it work, but let's hope we don't have to get there. Don't know that. I have these really strong chrome ones, but I don't know if it's the right size. Let's see. It's too big. Okay. Plan B. Here. Probably only really get one shot at this. Hopefully that soldering iron's heat has done something. I can really feel this guy heated up. Oh, wow. Woo! Okay. Melting my table. This guy is way hot. All right, so hopefully in there. It's spinning. Yay! All right. Yep. Okay, so you guys don't let me do these bozo moves like this, okay, please. Yay! Okay, now even though I've broken the Loctite, it still has way more resistance than it did before, which is what I really wanted. That's the whole point of this, right? Is to make sure that we can. It's not just going to spin itself out, because it really feels like it's gonna. Yeah, my red guitar, my normal guitar that I play, you can really feel it on there. All right, so I'm spinning this one. I'm going to give it a full turn just so I know I'm completely clear. I still want this. You know, the other way was back in the day when you put the plastic bag over it and then you melted the plastic bag. You could heat shrink, but that's really hardcore. So just get these guys about even. Oh, that soldering iron really did the trick, I think. So, there. But I really, I know that was a big detour, but wow, do I feel better about the stability of this. And then now this one won't plunge. So did the brass get so warm that it's not plunging now? It's feeling pretty good. I got to get all the friction, just like on your nut and everything else. It's all about what's binding and what's making friction and stuff. Hold on. Definitely don't want these things binding. I'm so glad that worked. Not that these things are expensive. It's very affordable compared to what these guys, crazy people on eBay, are charging for like reissues of the Ibanez ones or the ESP ones or whatever. I think ESPs you can buy them again. Not sure. Yeah, see, this is completely binding. Is that the heat or is it the Loctite? I almost want to pull this thing out of here and clean it up. Good. Yeah, it won't even pull back. Look at that. This is critical. The spring has to counteract the tremolo springs. Tell you what, let's spin this all the way out, and I'm gonna clean up that end. Sorry. So this could have gone in a lot quicker and easier if I hadn't done these things, but you know, I keep kicking myself that I didn't put Loctite on the other ones. So now I know. Put it on after when you're, and only use a little bit, or let it dry first. That's probably was gonna be the better way. If I would have just put this on and let it dry, it would have been fine. Because really, I just want that thicker. I want that plastic junk on to coat the threads, and that way, it just won't spin out so easy. You can see it. That's what I want. That little chunk right there. That's good. Okay, so what? We gotta find out what's binding on this guy. It's as if I did heat it up with the soldering iron. I mean, is that really what's going on here? Like it is stiff, man. Yeah, these I think the brass expanded. I really think that's what happened. I think the brass expanded. I could go dunk this real quick. Maybe that's what I should do. Because now it's acting like it's threaded. Wow. Acetone the hell out of everything. Certainly the outsides of this don't need to be Loctite. It's not what it's for. Yeah, sorry guys. I know this was supposed to be something else, but guess what? We learned something, or at least I did. Maybe you guys are already watching this and saying, hey, dummy, don't put Loctite on that. You know how much you love your Loctite, but it's not for this. Really, did I? We'll go dunk this. Okay, no idea how bad the water just messed up the Loctite, but I can always put more on. So did I really just heat this thing up so much that it's can't slide through anymore? That's crazy. I don't really see that being a possibility. And did I just permanently expand the brass? Was it that bad? Or is there Loctite on the inside of this thing? That's really what's happening. I don't know. It's so weird, man. The other one wasn't even thinking about binding like that. This one feels pretty good. You know me, I'm looking at this and going, oh, I wonder if I should put more Loctite on here. After all that, I'm like, wonder, should I put more Loctite? Could work. So here's the problem with this one. It's just Loctite. Off of there. This really has to go pretty clear. Pretty easily. So sand this. Yeah, I really screwed up. Crazy, huh? Nobody's all that surprised if I screw up, but surprised how much this little tape does. I keep forgetting to pick up more sandpaper at the hardware store. Would really, really, really help right now. Really fine sandpaper. Let's see how this feels now. That's pretty good. About this. How's this plunger feel here? Pretty good. I might want to spin that one out too, but I think it's okay. Like the old Pontiac guys say, it'll clearance itself. Yeah, because I can still feel some resistance on here, which is the whole point of that Loctite in the first place. That's what I want to feel. I'm feeling too much resistance. I mean, if I won't be able to get an Allen wrench in here, that would suck. But I think we'll get it right. Okay, what's binding here? It's really difficult. Yeah, that's flush. A little bit wiggly. This one, flush. It's a lot wiggly. Okay. I still might end up putting this up in the wrong place. But I got plenty of room to go. Plenty of room. Okay. So, the other problem is my springs were in an arrow configuration, and I think they're going to hit. So you could put one in the center, you could put them on the edges. I got plenty of room to go in, so I'm just going to put them on the edges. So that's going to be okay. If I need more tension, I can always put it on the center one. So the trick is going to be now drilling some pilot holes. The screws are so small that I almost don't want to put a pilot hole. I really don't want to go through to my pickups. I'm afraid that the screws might be even skinnier than my skinniest drill bit. Let me see. 16th. Look at Screws too wide or holes too small? Screws are too wide to fit through the holes. Well, that sounds bad, but it's kind of a good problem to have in this case, I think. Your screws. I really, I really ended up taking a lot of time. 1/16, so that's the size. I don't know I'm going to be able to bite if I use a 16th inch screw. Give it a try. Here, you know what? I got wood right here I can test on side of my bench with my drill. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I'm an hour in and I barely did anything yet. But it's kind of how these things go sometimes. And it's all because I want to mess with that Loctite. And I think I'm still right. I think the Loctite is important. So I'm gonna put a 16th inch. I really think these are 16th inch screws, so I don't know if it's gonna have enough bite if I use this, but we'll find out right now. And again, I don't want to get into that drill my pickup. Right? That would be exceedingly bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna test it on my bench here. So if I go straight in, it's going to get any bite whatsoever. Really tiny screws. I don't know. Feels a little loose. Maybe I'll just start the very beginning. I'm just doing this by hand and by eyeballs, so. So I just did a little bit. Tape the drill to allow max. Yes, good idea. Yeah, I'm just going to deal with the inconsistency of my full floater. That's the way to go, man. I really felt good playing for the first time in my life with full floating bridge, but I have to replace parts so often on people's stuff. Oh, hey, so that's what the guy was talking about. Look at that. Wow. The screw actually doesn't fit through there. Nice. Let's see about. I guess that's a good thing I got my drill out then, huh? Let's get all these. Nope. So that. Well, that'll tell you then. This is the right size drill bit. So I'm gonna need a slightly bigger drill, but these screws are not going through. Man, it's kind of good because it's gonna keep it from sliding around, but not ideal. So yeah, I have to replace and record so many other parts constantly that I need them to be locked in. I need them to be locked in place. So what I did is I made two of my guitars fully floating, one set with ESPs and one set with blackouts, and then I made the other guitars dive only, and that should have been good enough for me. But I tend to play those two main guitars that I had fully floating, and it's just too much. Just I don't have enough confidence in the tuning. I hate out of tune stuff. I mean, you guys know that. But. Okay. Make sure I don't use that 3/30 seconds when I'm putting the screw holes in, or pilot holes. Okay. Okay, I should not have an open bottle of acetone. It's so unsafe, that cap. Nasty. Okay. Machine parts. Hey, man. I'll tell you what. Instead of having to drill out something and instead of dealing with these nuts on eBay that were taking this $30, $20, whatever part, and they're all going for hundreds or even thousands. Like, holy crap, man. Oh yeah, see, I don't even know how the torque settings work on this drill, but maybe one of these days I'll read a manual. Okay, where's that pilot hole? Oh, I put the hole. I don't normally have this problem. Aha! Yeah. Oh no! Dropped it inside. That's not where I want it to go. Man, here it comes. Ooh, if I could just get this first one, I'm all set after that, I think. Well, feels like it has a lot of bite to it. Nice. Nice. Okay. Now, what's going to really suck is if this is too far. No, never mind. I got plenty of adjustability. So never mind. There's no suck. No suck. Yeah, I see ya. And I will read up. Yeah, thanks for that. The tape tip is good. That's right. I mean, I can do it with the collar, but tape is smart. In this case, I'm just going to put a little bit. Yeah, I'm only going this tiniest bit. Do I want to use jeweler's screwdrivers for this? The cool part about this one is instead of 2 screws or whatever, actually the other one had 4. So this one has 6. So actually the other one was pretty well. The way the other one was put together was nice that guys, what's up with the white washing out? What am I seeing right here? What's that? See, God, man. Um, the other one, instead of some of these have the screws in the middle like this on the single ones, and it's just like you need some kind of magic in order to even get it in there. Uh, the version of this one that they had was it was a lot easier to deal with. It was on both sides. Well, and that's right. I had to sand this down. Hope this is gonna work. They put like gobs of varnish on this thing. I hope I didn't just drill through the pickup that time. Hello? Hello? This is crazy. So an hour and a half into here, and I'm barely got this thing in. Um, I still need to ride my bike. All right, so this because I did it this way, this really gonna suck with these springs because now the springs are in a totally different place. It's gonna be nowhere near as much tension, so it's gonna be a little bit finicky. But I have this set, so I know where I want this thing to be. I'll set the tremolo. I'll set the springs first, probably without this thing. Okay, so here's the other part. So we do not want this ground wire to bind on the spring. So how are we going to deal with that? All right, so should I pop my soldering iron in and put it on the underside? That's one way to deal with this. These are active pickups. I may not need to ground them, but the other point is I could put it way on this edge right here. Let me fire up. Oh, the iron's still on from the heating up the Loctite. So I think this thing actually has a ground tab. Would have been nice if they just put long enough wire to so you didn't have to worry about this. Like, it's kind of scary how this is. Okay. So I could take out the spring claw and put it on the underside. That would be one way to do this and really be sure about it. It's probably the smartest way to do it. It's the way I don't want to, because man, it's going to make everything harder, but that's probably the best option. So where's my... Where did I just put my screwdriver? Sorry. I'm still trying to get the ergonomics down here. Sorry, guys. And, you know, I know Steve I didn't have one, but I keep thinking I want to put one of those scalar SureClaw things in here. Okay, so one bummer here. This is probably something that should have been done before anyway. I know it's not convenient to put these on the bottom, but it sure makes them safer. You don't want anything binding up your spring, and I think in this case, I don't know. Are we supposed to not ground? I mean, this thing came with EMGs in the first place, and it was grounded to the bridge. So I don't know what the wisdom is right now. Actually, I don't know if the people are still saying not to ground to the bridge or what. So, but I'm just gonna ground it to the bottom side here. And that should be much better. But yeah, remind me, I got to get out and do some riding or something. I've just been in here all day and trying to catch up still to my Monday. I've been going through all this camera nightmare, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do. I've been doing a lot of interviews lately, and I just need a better camera setup. So I just don't want to spend a car worth of money on camera junk, man. Stuff's so expensive. Nobody wants to see my ugly face anyway. They want to see like software we work on, mixes we're doing. We really need. So I wanted a camera for doing this stuff. This is still a little bit grainy, but I think you can see okay. So now this thing's out of the way. I could actually hot glue it to the. I could hot glue that in or something to keep it from moving around, but now I think we're safe at least. That's something I do. If I ever take the claw out of a guitar, I always solder the ground wire underneath. Makes life easier. And I know I could just pull these pliers out and not even worry about this, but I think it's going to be slightly easier if I leave them where they are. It's going to take some adjusting, but I really wanted that tremolo spring puller to work, but no such luck. That one's too big. It looks like it worked real good for brake springs on a car. Throttle return springs for sure. So here's how it was. It was in an arrow configuration. And I'm pretty sure the spring will hit in that way. So I'm gonna... Okay, and I know everybody, that's their way of doing this right here. For some reason, this isn't reaching the end of the claw. There's one, and now I've dumped my tremolo completely, unfortunately. Oops. Still gotta buy some food and stuff for tonight. Right. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that ground wire. I'm probably gonna pull it through the electronics cavity. So this time, I could try this one, but then I always end up bending them. That actually worked right there, so I'm just gonna do this again. So let's see where, if I put in an arrow, I'm pretty sure it would hit. Woo! Oh, almost lost an eyeball, but I see now I'm wearing glasses. uh, ah. Woo! This is where those scalar whatever Sure-Claws look really good when you're dealing with this crap. Alright, well that worked. So it looks like the tremolo spring is so close to the edge. Ah, man. Alright, so I'm going to pull the pliers, and the tuning's going to be all messed up. I want to get the tremolo stabilizer to be a non-issue, so I'm going to pull that forward in a second. Let me get a tremolo bar. Now I had to get the antique bar because Floyd Rose doesn't make an oil slick push-in bar, and I hate the screw-in ones. So I can still put the screw-in one in. It just doesn't go in as far as, not super confident with it, but I might do that because this is oil slick and this is oil slick, and so is the nut. How can I have a antique bar? And that's the closest to the oil slick I could get, but okay, so let me look at how this one is. So it's dumped a little bit forward. I'm gonna plug in a tuner. Finding the cable. Turn off the iron. So let's get this is gonna be 28. Mono 28. Just hooking up Reaper right now. Is it not 28? Oh, it's 26. 526. Yep, there we go. Okay, let me get some knobs. I don't want to paste the reference. Okay, I'm gonna add a display capture. Tune. Okay. There we go. Put that down. Up one. And I only want a very small amount. Now, is it Alt that does that? Yeah. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, let's just stick it up here for now. Put retune on here. Ooh, and hopefully you can't see what's on the screen because you're not supposed to see that yet. There we go. Okay, there we go. So first of all, I'm gonna remove this thing from the equation. And how am I gonna do that? So what I'm gonna do then is hopefully the Allen wrench will work now that I kind of got it a little bit looser. I'm gonna pull the plunger in away from the tremolo bar. Wow, that is still hard to turn. I'm not sure this Allen wrench is gonna handle it. Unreal, man. This Loctite is no joke. Alright. Oh, am I going the wrong way? I want to pull it out. So I'm gonna level the tremolo first, and then I'm gonna shove this thing up to it. So in order to do that, I want to make sure that this isn't touching at all. I know that the instructions usually tell you to do this a much different way. Actually using the playing cards is actually pretty smart. You put cards in there and just keep tightening until they fall out. That's really not a bad idea. But a little bit more anal, I guess. So, I want to get these springs to where the tremolo's pretty much sitting flat. Okay, so the tremolo's level right now. Okay, and if you see what's happening right now, it's because I already had this thing pretty much set this way, and it's, you know, it looks like I just got crazy lucky, but really, it's because I already wanted it pretty much. I had it already set, right? So he's acting funny. Is he acting funny? Let me see where that is on the 12 foot. No, that's pretty good, actually. So maybe remember also mess with the tremolo springs, right? Let's see. Okay, I think that's just about where I want to have it. I'm gonna unlock the locking tuner, the lock nut, and rub these out. Okay. So if it dumps much forward or much back, then I'm gonna have to redo things. I think I want to move it back a tiny bit. I'm gonna find out. Let me see how. I really don't like the fine tuners on this Floyd Rose Pro. That's the only way I could get oil slick. I'd rather have a Floyd Rose original, honestly. I thought I wanted a Pro really bad until I had one. I didn't really like it. It's cheap feeling, man. It feels like junk. The Ibanez ones are way nicer. See, this is the problem. See, I had the window set wrong. I had it set for 30. Set it for 100 if you're getting like a low A string or you're tuning a bass guitar or whatever. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm afraid that's going to make all of them jump up. Yeah, see, there's a little bit sharp. The low A string has so much tension, or it'd be a low B if you had a regular tuning. Has so much tension that really affects the other strings. But yeah, I had this fully floating for a while, and it was a lot less trouble than I thought it was going to be, but I'm just too paranoid. I don't want this stuff happening on stage, like I can't tune or something. It was just driving me nuts. So my tremolo is where I want it to be. If I could just have these, in fact, let's see if there's some way that I can do this without crushing the tremolo. If I could just have this barely touch the tremolo, that's ideally where I'm going to have it. So let's I'm gonna back this out until it hits the tremolo, until it hits the sustain block, whatever. And acetone it one more time because it's still, oh. I'm thrilled about this. This acetone cap keeps falling off. It's just terrifying. It's not good. Ooh. I don't know if I want to get acetone on the wood. Is that going to hurt the guitar? Maybe. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. This came with, I already had one pad on here. This little pads for the for the little ball bearing end to hit the tremolo, so it doesn't clunk too hard or whatever. And I should have put those on there when I had everything off, but it's not ideal because I had the old one on there. There we go. So now I'm going to have 3, but only 2 of them are actually going to be contacting. I really like the idea of this round ball bearing kind of end. It's not perfect, but I'm seeing that a lot today. Hopefully that stays on there. I've never used these before. I always had them slam right in there, but I'm starting to think, tolerances are a little bit better than I give them credit for. And it's okay to have a little bit of give. It'll still get pretty much in tune. Okay, so now I'm running into the problem where I don't think it's hitting. Maybe it's hitting the bar. I'm going to back this one into it as well. So I want it just barely touching the bar or the block. And if it's too loose, it's not really going to touch because it's just not going to have enough spring pressure to hold it up against there. And the idea is that the tremolo sustain block is going to be hitting this thing, and it won't be able to dump any further forward. In order to really make sure that happens, you really want to put a lot of spring pressure, more spring pressure on the tremolo springs. I see people who do this very loosely. I'm a little bit, I want it to slam a little bit harder. Okay, so here's resting position. I don't know if it's in tune or not. We'll find out. But when I touch it, see them, they're both moving. This probably isn't enough spring pressure to actually do much right now. It's a little bit, but I'm going to increase this pressure by a lot, and then I'm going to tighten these springs down a little bit. Let me check tuning again. Okay, so we're definitely touching, because notice that the tremolo is now, it's raised forward a little bit because of that, because of the plunger, and it's gone flat. So, and I'm not liking how far forward it is, so I'm going to actually bring the I'm going to bring this plunger back out a little bit. Feels so loose, like it can't possibly be touching, but this might be that the springs are too loose. And if I really want to be sure about this while I'm working on it, there's no reason not to put a ton of spring pressure on, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So notice I'm turning the other screw. So I'm shortening the length of the spring, which is bringing the spring pressure way up. And I can feel it right now. It's very, very much touching. And so one way that I tried with the other one was just to get it set first with one of these plungers. But it's not as finicky or as bad as you think it would be. So, no real big deal here. So I don't think that this one's really touching the bar right now. I think it's the other one. So I'm gonna pull up on the bar and see where it goes. Oh, actually, no, it is moving this one first. Okay. Again. It just feels so loose, like it couldn't be. Okay, now it's not hitting either one. Let's see what the tuning's like. Still flat. Okay, why is that? If they're not hitting... What am I hearing? Yeah, this sticker's no good. I'm not sure why. Unless I did something up front. I'm going to tighten this screw down. Let's break down just a tiny bit. Let's see. Might be, well, actually, here's something to consider. Okay, I'm going to hold the guitar up by a horn in tune. I'm going to put it on the cradle. A little bit flat, right? But let's, So remember, right now this thing is fully floating. When the pressure really hits it, it will. You'll hear it hit, and you'll see it lock. So again, I'm gonna try and get this as close as I can to the bar. It would really be good to have some light behind there. So what I want to make sure is that nothing is possibly modifying this so that it's dumping forward more than it would be. So I just want it to barely touch. Okay, so let's see. No, wrong way. Oh, saw it move. Okay. Okay, touching one of them, but not the other. Now, when this is getting close to finished, I'm gonna put a lot of, or I'm gonna put more spring pressure on. I'm not gonna say a lot, but I'm gonna put more spring pressure on. This is where it gets really finicky. And this is the problem with the dual one. You gotta try and get them this to be the same, right? But there could be a little bit of preload spring pressure that could alleviate that a little bit. But it's really hasn't been that hard to get them that close though. So let's just see what we're tuned to now. So it's dumped it forward a tiny bit. So what I want to make sure is that there's enough spring pressure that when I put this a little bit more tremolo spring pressure, it's not going to just completely dump the tremolo backwards. That's where it gets ugly. So I'm going to just turn these in a quarter turn. It's not much, but it's enough to load it onto that seat. And what I don't want to see is this thing, just that quarter turn, pushing this thing out. So if this thing is way sharp right now, then it's pushing on the bar. Okay, now you can hear it hitting, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tighten these springs up a lot. The counter force springs. So I'm going to hold it in place, but I'm going to shorten the length of the spring. You can set these super tight without hurting anything. It just makes it harder for you to pull back on the tremolo. But if you want to be sure, you can get these things so tight that you can just about break a string and still be in tune. Yeah, I feel so much better with the Loctite because this thing can still spin around just fine, but it's not going to spin itself out very easily. So after this, it's really fine tuning. Like how tight do you want these springs? It's not bad. It feels like the bar is not quite hitting hard enough, but then see, I don't want to be able to tap on the bar and see it and see the tremolo move. So is the problem that it's not touching yet? Do I need to put more spring tension on here? Did tightening up the springs maybe move this in a little bit? Like I can hear it hit, but I don't know that it's enough pressure to bring it back. Your temptation is to tighten up the spring so much that that you know it's going to hit, but when you do that, then you just made your tremolo super hard to pull, you know? And you don't want it too crazy. See, if I took that bar out right now, this would go sharp because I have tightened those springs up. But I am going to tighten them a little bit more. So I'm just going to be a little bit conservative at first with this. Kind of give it a little bit more. So I'm going to tighten them each one with another quarter turn. I want to be sure that this thing hits when I let go of the bar. And now I'm going to just tune it with it in my lap. Something binding. See, that's binding is the pits. And for some reason this is flat now. Alright, so it might be pulling too hard. feels pretty good, actually. And that's the other thing. You put your hand on to palm mute, and the tremolo doesn't move. That's kind of a nice thing. But let me see where this is right now. Yeah, this is all over the place. Let's see if this improves by putting the locking the lock nut back up. Oh man, I gotta get out of here and get some exercise, but I put you poor people on this journey with me, so I'm gonna finish. Okay, so now the lock nut's locked up. I guess you know what? I gotta make a button on my Stream Deck for this GoPro thingy. Yeah, so once you get these things set up right, if your guitar goes out of tune, often the way you tune it is just by hitting the bar. Like, no joke, man. This gets going good. Okay, and the other question is, did I drill through my pickup? Let's find out, huh? We'll know in a second. Let me play Helix here. So I have those springs on pretty tight. You hear that clacking? You can definitely feel it too, so I'm wondering if there's some way to mitigate that. Now that should have just nailed and absolutely annihilated the tuning of this guitar. But it is working. It's really staying in tune. I'm probably gonna loosen up the springs a little bit, but what do I have that's... Let me check my other guitar. So my other ones, yeah, one of them, I still got a fully floating one. It's a Carvin with my EMG 707s in it. Or no, that one's got an 81 and 89. And when I feel the ones that are dive only, boy, that tremolo's stiff. This one's nothing. But the question is, does it go back? So there's still a little bit of fine tuning to go. Oh wow. That's pretty good. So for now, assuming I didn't just completely destroy this guitar, I think I'm gonna put this grooves back in. I might like I say, I might loosen these springs later on, but now it feels pretty good. Throw this back together and button this guitar up, and then I'm gonna pull my 20-inch out and go ride that instead of the dirt jumper. I'll have the dirt jumper in the car. Now I wanted to rewire my my pedal board really bad. maybe I can do it tomorrow. That was one of the things I wanted to get done today, but I think it's getting late. I have to work tonight. To work a rough job tonight. Okay, 5. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. I think I'm gonna go to the store and buy everything I need for tonight, and let's see. I got snacks. What else do I need? Snacks. Okay, should go down to Times. You know, that's one of the great things about living in Hawaii is Times Supermarket. I'm sure it'll be gone soon. It's too kind of family-ish for what's going on around here now. But man, they have the yummiest plates. Friday, not so much, but. Yeah, one of these days I'll fix the delay there. That's all right. All right, I'll see you guys later. This is actually, boy, as soon as I got the Loctite off, this is great, huh? But pretty dumb to put that on in the first place, I think. But I bet you this guitar stays in tune better than my ones that don't have Loctite on. We'll see. I'll see you.